So we started to accommodate too much for people in stretching class. So please feel free to spread round. As long as somebody's got a big space in the middle for filming, this is filming
popular. And we don't want to turn people away because again, like you want to be inclusive for everyone. As long as you can see me, there's space here, space here. Again, if there are any particular stretches you want me to work on, happy to do that for anyone. What we're going to do with this warm-up is we're actually going to use a bit of the wall. So please feel free to spread around on the wall. This is a great way of getting your legs and hips moving. Okay, so these are what I call flossing exercises. Go through a motion over and over again. So hopefully everyone can see me, but you've got your foot on the wall. I'll turn around and I'll show you away. And basically, you're bending your knee as much as possible and then straightening it. The higher your foot is on the wall, the harder it will be. And for those of you who are very flexible, you can put your hands on the wall and put your legs in. So as you go forward and back, there's more of a stretch forward. We're going to do 30 seconds on one side and 30 seconds on the other leg. Okay? Nice and simple. Okay? Ready and go for it. So you bend your knee, keep your chest attached to your thigh, and then straighten your leg. Bend as much as possible, then straighten it. I know. Yeah, mental's out. Okay, and change legs. Okay, let's get a rest. Now this one, you probably won't be able to bend your leg as much. Again, lower on the wall, easier, higher on the wall, harder. You're going to go side on, bend your knee in and straighten it out. What I like to do is bring my hand to this knee, then I know how much is pressure, and then straighten out. Balance can be an issue, so turn this toe away from the wall. Okay? Ready, 30 seconds, and go for it. That's it, bend it in. And that's it. Just that. And switch sides. And go for it. Nice and low on the wall. Doesn't have to be high at all because it's all about the bending and then pushing against the wall to straighten that does the job. Okay, relax. Now, I'll face you so you can see. So I've got both toes facing forward, my hands on the wall. I straighten my legs and I try to bend my knee until my knee touches the wall. Okay? Obviously, the further you take this leg back, the more intense it'll be. Just watch 2 seconds. If you're very flexible, you bend your arms forward so you put your forearms on the wall as well. But keep both toes forward. Okay? Ready? This is a calf stretch. Okay? And 30 seconds. Ready? Go for it. Bending, straightening. Again, if there is an area that feels particularly tight, feel free to hold that for a bit longer. And switch. Okay, now this next one, if you find it difficult resting your foot on the wall for whatever reason, please move over to where the bench is, because it works equally well putting it on an object. But basically from here, I've got my foot on the wall, my hands are out, I tip down, doesn't matter if your toe fingers touch the floor or not, then using my core, I lift back up. So I'm basically working this inside muscle to bring me back up. Okay, again, doesn't matter how high the leg is on the wall, just that both legs are straight. Okay, and you're going down in a straight line, not tipping forward. Okay, and go for it. How are you feeling, Adam, after something? Yeah. Okay. What about you, Carl? How are you feeling?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was something we did, Simon, but afterwards, I
Yeah, no worries. How are you feeling, Adam? Okay, what? Adam B, Adam H, Adam B.
yeah, I was pretty sore on Monday.
That's good, it's good. I need to work out. Okay, sides. On the other side. This side of the wall looks like a synchronized swimming team. Coming in and out of the water.
Those Cossack squats, I was doing something else.
Yeah, it made my leg go funny in a way we never did before.
The person can sit up as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, and rest. There's other ones you can floss on the wall like that, but they're some of my favorites. Okay, so come back in. Andrew had a question about the hands coming up to the position.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to give you a help with that. Again, what helps me, again, is feedback. Okay, because I'll do these stretches and I'll just, like, especially the stretches, I'll just go like, whatever I'm thinking at the time, that's what I'm going to do. But if there are things you want to work on, it's fine. So this one, your blocks can help a lot. So I'll use these blocks today. The pads or anything help. Okay, so just to show you, Andrew's question is this: when you see the yogis on the telly or go to yoga class, they're very good at being in this position, and they go into their down dog and they get their foot up to their hand. Now that's taken me a long time to do. Okay, I couldn't do that when I first started. Okay, so the way to help that today when we do this is to put your hands on the blocks, and this helps to bring your foot up. Okay, so if you do have trouble bringing your foot up, my advice is to put your hands on the blocks. Okay, so we're going to do a sun salutation. And what I'll do is I'll try and explain some of the postures here. Okay, because again, they have got strange names. I showed you all Rainbow Warrior last week, didn't I? No? I'll show you Rainbow Warrior this week. I can't remember what class it was. I can't remember what class I've done. Basically, I learned a new pose, so I'll teach you it today. But I've been doing yoga for 8 years. I've never done this Rainbow Warrior before. Judging by the look on everyone's face, no one else has done it either. So this is a good one. But Kyle and Adam might not like it because it's just the name they call their Cossack squat in yoga. Okay, but it's good to put it in the flow. Down at the top of your blocks. Okay. Okay. So just to explain, the opening move is called a salutation, salutation, and there's A and B. I'll explain A and B. So the sequence goes: you take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, you fold forward. This is called forward fold, and what happens often is you bend your legs so you can get your hands to the floor or to your blocks. Now you do a half lift, okay, where your legs straighten. You can bring your hands up onto your knees, up onto your thighs, but basically now your back is straight. And then you breathe out again and fold forward. Then you walk back into plank. This next sequence is called vinyasa, and this is where you drop into a push-up on your knees or off your knees, and where your elbows are in line with your shoulders, that's called chaturanga pose. Okay, and from here you either take cobra, which is bending your back with your hips down, or if your hips are off the floor, this is called up dog. Okay, so it's up to you which one you want to do. And then you curl your toes, option to do a push-up here, and then go into down dog. Now in this first down dog, we're just going to bend one knee and then the other. And this is known as walking the dog. Just gonna do 10 of those. And then we're going to lift the right leg up. And you're going to bring it, first of all, up to the side of your right foot. So you're going to take it on the outside. Okay? Then you're going to drop the knee. And then lift up. From here, we're going to put the hands back down on the blocks. Bend the toe. Try and lift the leg and bring it back into what's called one-legged dog. And then we're going to do, again, that vinyasa. So it's a chaturanga push-up. You don't use your arm. Cobra or up dog. And curl the toes down dog. Again, we're going to lift the left leg up. On this first go, bring the foot to the outside of your left hand. It's going to be easier to bring your foot up. Drop the knees. And then lift it down. Okay, hands down. And curl the toes. And bring it back into one-legged dog. And then bring your feet down into down dog. Now, oftentimes, after you've done like a sequence like that, they'll say, take a couple of breaths at the down dog to reset your breathing. So from here, try and get breathing in through the nose and potentially out the nose. Now, you're going to walk your feet up to your hands, and then we go back to the sun salutation. So this time it goes backwards. So you take a breath in, and half lift, breath out, hold, and then breathe in, rise up, and then out, hands together. So it always starts and finishes the same way. And then it's your choice what you want to add on. And depending on the practice you're doing, it gets more and more difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the whole sequence again. And this time we're going to add on some poses. Okay? Again, sun salutation 8. Breathe in. Breathe out and fold. Now you should feel a bit more open now than the first time. Breathe in. Half lift. Breathe out, step back. Go straight into your chaturanga push-up, and then cobra or up dog. Go on your breath, breathe out, and dog. Now you can stick with lifting that hand to the outside, the foot to the outside, or now you can try and bring it to the front. Let's say it gets halfway. Just move the block to the side and shuffle your foot forward. This is what I did for years, okay? So don't worry about it at all. Now, with the back heel up, we're going to lift up for what's called crescent lunge. And this, if you're doing it correctly, to stretch up the hip flexor. Now, what we're going to do is put the back heel down. This is warrior one. So in this first warrior one now, we're going to breathe in and straighten the leg, breathe out, and bend the knee. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I'm going to open up the hands, bring the back leg in line with my front leg, and hands out. And this is called warrior 2. So from here, this is called extended side angle. I can either lean forward, resting on my leg, and bring my arm up, or oftentimes over. Or if you feel more open, you can bring your hand down to a block or the floor on the inside or outside of your leg. But these are all variations of extended side angle. And you're going to come back to warrior 2. And I'm going to show you this new pose, or it's new to me anyway, which is rainbow warrior. So watch, everyone who's there on Sunday will recognize this. This is the mask canvas. I sit down and grab my opposite ankle with my left. This is apparently called rainbow warrior. Okay, so you want to sit back and come into this pose. And then you come up to warrior 2 again, straight into reverse warrior. So it's a nice little one that adds into your sequence. Okay, so we're just going to do that again. So warrior 2, rainbow warrior. So bend, as I said, grab onto your leg if you can. And then warrior 2, reverse warrior. Now straighten that front leg. Arms up. Lean forward now as you breathe in. And you can't tip forward any further. Let the hand go. And the hand can come to your leg, or the floor, or the block, or what's called triangle pose. So if you feel your shoulder coming forward, that's too far forward. Everything should be back against the wall feeling. Now, top hand on your hip, bend your front knee, walk your back leg in slightly. The advice is to walk your block forward and lift it up, maybe to the highest setting, and then come up into what's called half moon pose. This is a very difficult balance. That's it. Now, most people put a hand on the hip. If you're feeling confident, you can raise the arm up. Again, you're trying to get the same feeling you were standing now on the side. And this is a pose that takes a long, long time. It sucks for the first couple of years. And after about 3 or 4 years, you finally go, I don't feel like I'm going to fall over every 2 seconds. And then the idea is you smoothly try and bend that knee and control yourself down back to warrior 2. Okay? And that's a common standing sequence. So I'm going to realign my blocks. You windmill your hands down, and then you go back in the plank. Now from here, you can either go straight to down dog, or you can do what's called an optional vinyasa, which is the down, up dog, and the down dog. And we're just going to do all those poses on the other side. So left leg lifts up, bring your knee through to the middle, and see how those blocks makes it easier to bring up. We're going to start by keeping the toe on the back leg on the ball of the foot, and raise up to crescent lunge. So this is called crescent lunge. Okay, that's it. But on the ball of your foot there, okay, that's it, good. And then we're going to put the back heel down. And just in this first warrior 1, we're going to straighten the leg as we breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to come down. Breathe in. And out. One more time, breathe in. And out. Now step the back leg in line with the front heel, so it's one leg. The arms come out. You should be reaching through your fingertips for warrior 2. So again, we're going to tip forward, extended side angle, either with your hand on your forearm on your leg, or your hand on the floor. But again, keep that. The idea is you're always trying to lengthen, not round or curl or force anything. Go back to that breathing. And we're going to go back to warrior 2, and then go into that rainbow warrior. Back to warrior 2, and the reverse warrior. One more time. Rainbow warrior. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. And straighten that front leg. Come up. Tip forward. You can't go any further forward. Bring your hand down to your shin or the block of the floor. But make sure your shoulder's not doing this, your fingers are facing forward. Fingers should be going to the ceiling, and you should be able to see your hand up. So again, bring the top hand to your hip. Grab your block. My advice is always to put on the top setting, bring your back there again, and come up for half moon pose. And if you feel confident, lift your top arm and just try and raise your straight leg a couple of inches high. And as smooth as you can, tip back gently into your deepest warrior 2. And windmill the arms to the floor. Optional vinyasa. Now step, walk, or hop your feet to the front. Much more open you are. This time we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out now, we're going to bend the knees to sun salutation B. This is called chair pose. Take your hands forward. You should be able to see your toes. If your knees are this far forward, that's no good. Knees behind the toes, back straight. Now some people stay here. If you're opening your shoulders in the back and lift your arms up. And then from here, stand. There you go. Brilliant. Okay, so come down to the floor. So one of the poses that you remember you asked me about was pigeon pose. So I'm going to do my little thing to build up the pigeon pose. It's not an easy pose, and again, a lot of people get it wrong for years and they don't see the benefits of it. Okay, so we're going to start with what I call the 90-90 position, which is a good way to build up the pigeon pose. And when I get to that pigeon pose, if you ever like, this is painful or this is not doing anything for me, always go back to the 90-90. Okay, so take your feet out wide, and we're just going to rock the feet back so they make 190-degree angle, 190-degree angle. Keeping your hips as flat as possible and your shoulders forward. And we're just going to go side to side 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you can, try and keep your hands on the floor, make your legs a little bit wider than your hips. That's it. That's it. Good. Keep on 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold forward towards this leg. If my hips are doing this and I'm leaning off to the side, I need to sit my hip underneath something like a block. Okay, so I need to be able to sit up tall over this leg. That's it. Fantastic. So try and get your hands at either side of that front foot. Now what we're going to do is they call good mornings or curls or push-ups. I'm going to fold forward and lift up. Again, start with your hands. For those of you who are more advanced, you can do this without using your hand, but obviously it's a lot trickier. I think that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now from this position, we're going to do a little bit of PNF stretching. So from here, I want you to try and push the knee through the floor. So pushing the knee down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Now put your hand or your forearm over your knee and try and lift the knee off the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will have fatigued that hip muscle a little bit. So if it feels available to you, try and put your hands slightly further forward. If you don't feel like you can do that, keep them where they are. But we're going to do that set again. So push the knee down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Try and lift the knee off the floor. Now, see if you can get your forearms down to the floor or put your forearms on a block. And one more time, push down for 5. And try and lift up for 5. Now, my block's not very comfy because of wooden one. But again, the idea is that you fold forward and you rest your head or your arms on something, so like a block. And you try and chill out for 30 seconds or 5 breaths, and you're just trying to lean forward, let everything go. Okay, good. Now, from this position, I'm going to try and lift this back leg up. Watch first. I'm going to do 3 sets. I'm going to lift it up as high as I can and then hold for 5 seconds. Your hip will cramp, okay? This is very common. Either come out of it or try and push through, okay? So, there's 2 options you've got, okay? So, lifting up, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. And lifting up again, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time, lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to lean back. So what we're stretching here is this muscle here, which doesn't get much attention any other way. So you can either go back on your hands. If your lower back hurts, stop. But you can go down on your forearms if you're more flexible. And if you're really there, you're going to lie down all the way. And this does feel very, I wouldn't say nice, but a unique feeling, definitely. Okay, and then come up. And then we're going to face front again. I'm going to keep this leg pinned to the floor and this foot pinned to the floor. I'm trying to get my knee to fold out into a butterfly stretch. It won't do that, but again, that's the idea. So I lift the knee up as far as it goes and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to keep those hands to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we turn and we do all that good stuff on the other side. So turning now, make sure the angles are correct. So knee in line, foot in line, knee in line with hip, this foot. And again, put your hip under a block if you need it. Okay, so we're going to do those folds over, the push-ups over the leg pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then pushing the knee down into the floor. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax, lifting the knee for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then see if you can go forward a little bit, even if it's only an inch or two. And again, push the knee down to the floor. 3, 4, 5, and then lifting the knee. 5. And maybe lower down onto your forearms, you onto the floor on a block, and push down. 5, and lifting for 5. 5, and then fold forward onto a block, onto your hands, reaching forward for 5 breaths. And come up. Now we're going to lift that back leg. Mine's cramping already, and I haven't lifted it up off the floor yet. Okay, so ready to lift. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. And lift again. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. Ready. Lift really high. Go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then walk the hands back. Trying to lie down in a diagonal line. And go to your hands, forearms, go all the way down. Come up. And sit your chest forward, lifting this knee as far as it will go off the floor. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just hug your hips in for a second, like this, before we go into full pigeon. So, for some people, that 90-90 position is enough. Pigeon is just a more advanced version of what we just did. So, if I go back to the 90-90 like I did before, and I keep this leg on the line, this is the mistake people make. As soon as they do pigeon, their heel comes right to their groin. This is very common, but this is not doing the same thing. So people fold all the way forward and their heels by their groin, and they're like, that's easy. But when you keep the leg parallel, it's very difficult. So watch what I do, and then lift my hips up, and I scoop this knee back in line with my shoulder, and then my toes are up like a back foot, and that's pigeon pose. So go into your pigeon, or if 90-90 is fine for you, go that again. I'm going to go through this quite quickly. So you can stay upright. There's another variation where you take your hands off the floor. That's quite intense. There's another variation where you fold forward. There's a twisted pigeon where you turn to one side, and all the way towards your knee. And then turn all the way to the other leg. I'm just going to face the front now so you can see. So I think we looked at this last week, but this is a nice transition. From your pigeon, sweep that back leg forward over the top. Believe it or not, this is called double pigeon. I don't get it at all. I didn't come up with these names, just trying to have it. I like to call this one fire log, but again, known as double pigeon. Okay, all right. And then we do it all on the other side. So again, I'll go this way. Sure. So again, set yourself up in the 90-90, and then push the leg back. So the knee, this leg is on a straight line, and this leg is in line with your hip. And I'm trying to get both hips close to the floor as possible. So you can be upright, you can take your hands off to engage the muscle, and you can also pull forward. You can stand up and twist. Twist the other way. And you can bring the back leg round, or by leg. I don't call it that, but that is what we would call it. Okay. So you go. Understand, Pigeon now? Fantastic. I don't mind deep diving any of the poses there and how to work up to them as well, because sometimes you do a pose and how, like what you were saying about how do you bring your hands forward, you practice by putting the blocks in. And trust me, because I did it, eventually you won't need the blocks. You just get used to bringing it up. Okay, so for the conditioning side of today, I'm going to give you guys a bunch of balances. Julie,
Yes.
do you mind sorting people out with a belt?
Yeah.
No worries. Okay, so stand up. You don't need a belt at the start, but you will need in a minute. Okay. Now, this particular balance sequence I'm going to take you through has got 3 stages. Okay. Now, obviously, if you're having trouble with stage number 1, you won't be able to do stage 2 and stage number 3. But much like everything else, I want to give you guys goals. I want you to have this feeling of, I suck at this, I can't do it. And then when you eventually can do it, I want you to have that eureka moment of, yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing that I couldn't do 6 months ago, or even 6 years ago. Okay? So with all these poses, the idea is that I'm trying to keep this core strong. So what do I mean by that? When people, if I show you from the side, when people lift their knee often, they do that. But what you've got to do is keep your core tight and lift using your core. It's something they say all the time in yoga videos, and it can be meaningless. I'm not using my core, I'm standing up. But that's what they mean. Keep your core engaged, keep your back flat. Okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to grab our knee. For each of these poses today, I'm just going to go for a count of 10. But my advice is, before you move on, you should be able to hold each pose for 30 seconds. Okay? So 1. And roll your ankle on this. This is really nice for rolling your ankle. I get the 5 roll your ankle early. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let it go, just so I can explain the stretch. You don't have to go into it. Now, your standing foot needs to stay still and needs to stay straight. You'll be tempted to do this and bend, but you've got to keep it upright. So one of the tricks is to keep your hand here on your hip, so I don't turn forward, doesn't do anything crazy. Keep your hand out like this, it's great. So basically, hand here or hand here. I've got my knee here, and I take my knee out to the side without doing this or this, so I'm just turning my body. Okay, no, that's perfect, just like that. Okay, all right. So lift your knee up, keep upright, keep that core engaged, and pull it to the side. And again, we're going to hold for 10. So put your hand out here for balance, or on your hip so it doesn't go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And put it down. This is the hardest one. This is where you'll struggle, especially with the balance aspect. I'm going to show you from the side because it's easier to explain. Now, you bring it back to the middle, and with my hand, I don't grab it like this. I grab my hand on the outside of my knee. Okay, so just doing that is difficult. So if that is difficult for you, stay looking forward. If that's going okay for you, this hand's going to go back, and I'm going to look over my shoulder as I'm talking. I'm already losing balance. It's one of the ones you really have to concentrate on. So even for myself, trying to do it and talk is difficult. Okay, so again, do what you can. So you're going to lift your knee. You're going to wrap your hand on the outside. Stay there. If that's causing you problems. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to count in my mind. Well done, guys. So that's the sequence. Okay. So do all that on the other side. Okay. So this, yes. Stay on the one side then. If you've got problems, stay on the one side. But again, I'm just entering. This time, the only difference is I'm going to go from one to the other without putting the leg down. If you need to put your leg down in between, that's fine. But in the sequence, when you get it good at it, you don't have to put your leg down, basically. Okay. So bring your knee up and hold on. You gotta go hold each position for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then take it out to the side so you can see how I transition now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I transition, wrap the hand on the outside, and count in my mind. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm just going to use the strap. If you've got a yoga strap, feel free to bring it like a blocks to the class. Okay. So now we're going to do all these stretches with a belt. But if you want to stick to your hands, you can. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like first, all three, and then we'll try it. Okay. So the first one, I'm holding on with two hands around my foot, legs straight for 10. And then I put both straps in one hand for 2. And exchange hands, 3. Okay, everyone can give that a go. Okay, so holding and straightening your leg. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And transition into one hand and take out to the side. This is where I take the arm out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic, guys. This is really good. And then switch into the other hand. This is the hardest one. Well done, guys. Awesome. I couldn't see on that last one. So I'll just trust. I didn't hear much noise. So I trust you stay still. Okay. Right. Into the other foot. Lifting up and straightening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you guys are breathing. 6, 8, 9, 10. Transition to the same side hand. Take out to the side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And transition to the middle. So hard to do. Okay, and down. Now, most of you are going to keep the strap to do it again. But this time, I'll just demonstrate with the hands first. So, you clasp your hands and bring in here. But most of you won't even be able to do that. Okay, so that's a big checkpoint when you can do that. And you straighten your foot out. And you grab it on the inside. You take it out to the side. And you exchange hands and take it to the back. This hasn't come quickly for me, but trust me, when you can do it, you feel very cool. So I just want to give you this today to say, like, look, you can't do it today, but when you are able to do it, it's not opinion, it's fact. You have improved. Okay. So if you want to do it with a strap, if you want to grab your knee again, that's fine. But I'm just going to show you the third level. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go for it. Knees in. Okay. Ready. And going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done, Aaron. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Transition, grab the inside of the foot, it's easier. And out to the side. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the hardest one, transition to the other foot. Really concentrate now. Here we go. Other side. Excellent. Okay, other foot. Okay, and straight. 1. Grab the inside of the foot, if you grab the foot, not the side. Transition, half transition. Grab the foot to the other side. Really got to concentrate now. Okay, rest, guys. Well done. That is not easy. Okay, put the straps to the side. Let's go down to the floor. Just cool down. Okay. So on the floor now, very quickly, just do a couple of lower back stretches. Okay. So take your feet just slightly wider than the mat. Bring your knees into the middle and let them roll out. Okay, so nice and gentle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, just like we did earlier before all the 90 stuff, keep your shoulders on the floor and let the knees drop from one side to the other. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, while you're on one side, take the bottom foot and hook it over the top knee for an extra stretch. Switch sides. You want to turn to the other direction. It's going to help with the twist as well. Okay, leg back in the middle. So watch what I do. I lift my hips up like a bridge, wrap one knee over the top, and then shift my hips over to that side, and then let the legs fall over to the opposite side. You can have your hands out straight, like a T position, or like I've got cactus. So and then bring them back. Lift your hips again, pop the other leg over, shift the hips, and then let it fall over to one side. And then bring both legs in, grab onto your ankles, inside of the foot or outside of the foot for a happy baby. Just rock side to side, roll on the back. And then plug both knees in, rocking side to side and back and forth. And slowly roll up. Well done, guys. Awesome. That's 45 minutes. Good stuff.